So, hello everyone, welcome back. Today, UPSC has conducted prelims exam. So, we will discuss the answer key for this question paper, right? So, I'll be discussing set A of UPSC General Studies paper 1. Okay, see, look at the first question. So, the first question it says, uh, Jhelum River passes through the Ular Lake. See, this statement is correct. So, Jhelum River passes through Jammu and Kashmir, and Jhelum Lake is also Ular Lake is also in Jammu and Kashmir, and in fact, Jhelum River passes through the Ular Lake. So, therefore, this statement is correct. The second statement is Krishna River directly feeds Kolleru Lake. So this is incorrect because Krishna River not directly feeds the Kolleru Lake. Where is Kolleru Lake? Kolleru Lake is in the state of Andhra Pradesh, and both Godavari and Krishna indirectly feeds Kolleru River. Apart from these two rivers, directly Budameru, a river name called Budameru and Tammileru. So both these streams they feed Kolleru Lake. So therefore, this statement is clearly incorrect. So the meandering of Gandak River formed Kanwar Lake. See, this statement is clearly correct. So this is also known as Kabartal. The Kanwar Lake is also known as Kabartal, and it is located in Bihar, and it is a freshwater lake, and river Gandak formed the Kanwar Lake. So therefore, since this option is incorrect, this option is correct, only 2 is the correct answer. So the next option is they have given ports, and the ports are well known for. Okay, so the first statement says Kamarajar Port. So this is India's first major port in India registered as a company. In fact, this statement is very true because Kamarajar Port is a first public committee. It is a first public company, and it is registered in the year 1908. Okay, so it is registered in the year 1998 Ports Act. Under 1998 Ports Act, uh, in March 1999. So this statement is clearly incorrect. And second statement is Mundra Port. Mundra Port is located in the state of Gujarat, and this port is privately owned port. So this is the largest privately owned port. So both these statements are correct. When it comes to Vishakhapatnam Port, this is not the largest container port, but the Jawaharlal Nehru Port that is in the state of Maharashtra is the largest container port. Okay, so therefore this statement is incorrect. So the correct answer for this question is option B, right? So this year UPSC has changed the pattern of the exam. Okay, the how UPSC is used to ask these questions. So therefore we should also change our approach as per the requirement of UPSC. Now, consider the following trees. Which of the above trees are deciduous trees? And they have given three trees: jackfruit, mahua, teak. So, if you look at these three trees, jackfruit tree generally found in tropical evergreen forests. Okay, they generally found in tropical evergreen forests in the states of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and mostly in equatorial regions, not exactly equatorial regions, but around the tropical evergreen forest. So therefore this will not be found in deciduous trees. Okay, but mahua tree and teak tree, mahua tree usually found in several tribal tribal hamlets, and even deciduous uh, forest regions, and teak is also widely available. So the correct answer for this question is only 2, that is option B. And the next question is, India has more arable land than China. Okay, so this statement says that India has more arable land or more arable area than China. This statement is absolutely correct. India has more arable land. Okay, so India and US together account for around 22 percentage of total arable land, right? So these two countries together account for total arable land. On the other hand, the proportion of irrigated area is more in India as compared to China. So this statement is also correct. This statement is also correct because India has a proportion of more irrigated area compared to China. And the third statement is clearly incorrect because China has more productivity than what India's productivity is, because of they are applying new technologies in the agricultural productivity, but till we are using traditional primitive agriculture technologies. Because of these reasons, agriculture productivity in India is still low. So all these statements are not correct. None of the statements are also not correct. Only two statements are correct for this question. And the next question is, which one of the following is the best example of repeated falls in sea level giving rise to a present day extensive marshland? Okay, so I mean, you very often hear about the Run of Kutch. Okay, so even though Bhitarkanika mangrove is also a marshland, but the question asks present day extensive marshland. Ran of Kutch is an extensive marshland and that is located in the state of Gujarat and also spreads to Rajasthan. Okay, so this is an extensive marshland, and this extensive marshland is formed by the repeated falls in sea levels. Okay, so therefore the correct answer for this question is option D. And the next question is ilmenite and rutile. They are abundantly available in certain coastal tracts of India, so they are also rich sources of which one of the following? So ilmenite and rutile, so you may not come across these two metals or these two elements, but they are available abundantly in coastal areas of our country, so therefore they related to the titanium. Okay, so they related to titanium metal. Now, so seventh question is about three-fourths of India's cobalt metal. So sorry, world's cobalt metal required for the manufacture of batteries for electronic motor vehicle is produced from. So this is very tricky question because lithium reserves are continuously in news, and largest lithium producing countries are Chile, Argentina, and Bolivia. However, they have asked a question on uh, you know cobalt. So cobalt is generally the Democratic Republic of Congo is the largest producer of uh, you know wait. So Democratic Republic of Congo is the largest producer of cobalt, right? So the cobalt is used in batteries for electronic motor vehicles. So the next question is question number 8. Which one of the following is part of the Congo Basin? So the Congo Basin is in African continent. Okay, so this is in African continent. So now the Congo Basin is located in several countries. They include Angola, Gabon, Burundi, Cameroon, uh, Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Zambia. So among all the options, option A is correct because the Congo Basin is also located in Cameroon. Okay, so the next question is Amarkantak Hills at the confluence of Vindhya and Sahyadri ranges. So Amarkantak Hills are located in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so this is also a pilgrimage town in the state of Madhya Pradesh. And please also remember Amarkantak River, Amarkantak Hills is also source of Narmada River. Okay, they are also source of Narmada River. So therefore, this statement is not correct because Amarkantak Hills are not at the confluence of Vindhya and Sahyadri ranges. Okay, so Vindhya ranges are also located in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Okay, Vindhyas and Satpuras, and somewhere here Amarkantak Hills and Sahyadri ranges are located as part of the Western Ghats. So therefore, this statement is clearly incorrect. Bilagiri Rangana Hills are located in the state of Karnataka. Okay, they are located in the state of Karnataka, and they constitute the easternmost part of Satpura ranges is clearly incorrect because Vindhyas and Satpuras are located in the state of Madhya Pradesh and Belagiri Rangana Hills are located somewhere in Karnataka. So therefore this statement is also incorrect. And the third statement says Seshachalam hills constitute the southernmost part of the Western Ghats. This is also clearly incorrect because the southernmost part of the Western Ghats constitutes the Cardamom Hills, right? They are Cardamom Hills. However, Seshachalam Hills are located in Eastern Ghats. So therefore, this statement is also clearly incorrect. So you have to go through all the mountain ranges, okay, all the ranges across India. So there is a trend in UPSC that they continuously ask these questions. So the correct answer for this question is option D. And the next statement is with reference to India's projects on connectivity. Consider the following statements. Okay, so this east-west corridor under Golden Quadrilateral project connects Dibrugarh and Surat. So this statement is clearly incorrect because it connects Silchar in Assam. Okay, Silchar in Assam and Porbandar in Gujarat. So they have changed the names, Dibrugarh in the place of Silchar, Surat in the place of uh, Porbandar. So therefore, this statement is clearly incorrect. The trilateral highway connects More, that is located in the state of Manipur, and Chiang Mai, that is in Thailand via Myanmar. See, this statement is also clearly incorrect because uh, it connects the state of Manipur. It connects the state of Manipur, and this highway is also known as India, Myanmar, Thailand Trilateral Highway. Right. So this highway connects Myanmar and Thailand. The name in the name of the city is Mao Sot. Okay, Mae Sot. So it connects this area in Myanmar, not Chiang Mai. So therefore, this statement is also incorrect. And the third statement says Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar economic corridor connects Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh and Kunming in China. Okay, so this is a proposed corridor connectivity project, and this project aimed at enhancing connectivity between all these countries. And the corridor expected to run from Kunming, that is located in China, and through Myanmar, Bangladesh, and it will end by reaching Kolkata. Okay, so it will connect Kunming in China and Kolkata in India. So therefore, this statement is also incorrect. The correct answer for this question is option B. Right. So India, despite having uranium deposits, depends on coal for most of its electricity production. So this is, assertion and statement based question. Okay, so the second statement should support the first statement. So the first statement is correct because India still produces more than 50 percentage of its electricity through thermal power plants that are powered by coal. So India, despite having uranium reserves, it depends on coal. So this statement is clearly incorrect. The second statement says that the uranium enriched to the extent of at least 60% is required for the production of electricity. Okay, so highly enriched uranium has a purity of 20 percentage or more is used in research reactors. Okay, so 20 percentage enriched uranium is used in research reactors, and weapons grade uranium is 90%. But in order to produce electricity, right, just a low enrichment of 3 to 5 percentage is enough. So therefore this statement is incorrect. So among all the options, this option C says that statement 2 is incorrect. So correct answer for this question is option C, 11C. The next question is about marsupials are not naturally found in India. Marsupials can thrive only in montane grasslands with no predators. So the correct answer for this question is option C. So marsupials who can thrive only in montane grasslands with no predators is absolutely wrong. so they can also thrive in other areas, okay, not just in mountain grasslands with no predators. However, marsupials are not naturally found in India, right? Because marsupials are generally pouched animals, so they contain pouches, right? So they are also mammals, and female bear their young alive but in almost fetus state, and in most species carry them with an external pocket or pouch. For example, kangaroo is a marsupial, okay? So kangaroo is an example of marsupial. So kangaroo is generally not naturally found in India, and the statement is too extreme, so therefore, this statement is clearly incorrect. Statement. So correct option for this question is option C. So the next question is the invasive species specialist group. So that this group develops global invasive species database, and it belongs to the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Okay, so this database is managed by International Union for Conservation of Nature, and IUCN also releases the Red Data Book. Okay, the Red Data Book on threatened species. So since it has enough data on various species, it also come up with a data on invasive species uh, specialist group, okay, right? So this is constituted as part of the global initiative on invasive species led by the erstwhile global invasive species program that was launched in the year 2000. So the correct answer for this question is option A. And 14th question, consider the following fauna. So lion-tailed macaw is one of UPSC's favorite area, because in previous years also UPSC has asked about lion-tailed macaw. So how many of the above generally nocturnal are most active after sunset? So nocturnal animals are animals which are mostly active after sunset or at the night times. So therefore, the correct answer for this question is option B. Okay, correct option is option B, because the lion-tailed macaw is not a nocturnal animal. This is mostly active during daytime only. However, on the other hand, both the Malabar Saivite and Samba deer, they are nocturnal animals, and particularly the samba deer is active on at evenings, after particularly after sunset, because during daytimes they live near the shades, but after sunset they become more and more active. So therefore the correct answer for this question is 2 and 3, 2 only. Now, which of the following organisms performs waggle dance? Okay, waggle dance. So, for others, for their kin to indicate direction and the distance from source of their food. Okay, so this is about the waggle dance. Waggle dance. And the correct answer for this question is option C, honeybees. Honeybees generally, colonize somewhere, and they also, store food at a particular area. So therefore, the kin is very often associated with honeybees. They live in groups and they collect food and they store food. So therefore, this honeybees perform the vogel dance, and this vogel dance gives an indication or direction of the distance to a source of their food. Okay, so honeybees use vogel dance as a method of communication. So the next question is, some mushrooms have medicinal properties. We don't know what are those mushrooms, but some mushrooms have the medicinal properties. And apart from this, some mushrooms have psychoactive properties, and some mushrooms have insecticidal properties, and some mushrooms have bioluminescent properties. So bioluminescent properties are property of of a mushroom where at night times it illuminates. Okay, so yes, there are fungi or there are mushroom species, they illuminate at night times, and there are some mushrooms they have certain insecticidal properties. They are very effective as insecticide. And second statement, some mushrooms have psychoactive properties and some mushrooms medicinal properties. So you can generally assume that all questions or all statements are correct in question number 16. Now question number 17 is with respect to squirrel. Okay, so this is with respect to squirrel. So Indian squirrels are found in India, especially the south of Vindhya Mountains and Sri Lanka. So in these areas, Indian squirrels are found. Okay, so they mostly live in tropical dye forests and they build nests, making burrows inside the ground. And secondly, they store their food materials like nuts and seeds on the ground. Okay, so obvious it is, if they make burrows in the ground, they can also store their food in the ground. Okay, so first statement and second statement are correct. And third statement says they are omnivorous species. Now what is omnivorous species? So there is a categorization called herbivores. Okay, herbivores, omnivores, and also carnivores. Now, carnivores eat, you know, they are generally, uh, herbivores are vegetarian species. Okay, they are vegetarian species. They eat plants, and omnivores eat both veg. I mean, they eat both plants and small insects and animals. Okay, so carnivores are species like a tiger, leopard. So they eat other animals. So therefore, it says Indian squirrel is an omnivorous species. So therefore, this statement is also correct. Indian squirrel is a omnivore species. So the correct answer for this question is option C. And the next question says that some microorganisms can grow in environments with temperature above boiling point of water. Okay, so there is an evidence that even in volcanically active mountains, or in lava also, some microorganisms can thrive even at a higher boiling point of the water. So therefore, this statement is correct. And some microorganisms can grow environments with temperature below the freezing point. Okay, so even when there is a temperature below freezing points, these organisms can thrive. This statement is also correct, and some microorganisms can grow in highly acidic environment with pH below 3. So this statement is also correct. So there are different microorganisms and they can live in a wide variety of areas. Okay, extreme climate regions. So question number 19, which one of the following makes a tool with a stick to scrape insects from hole or tree or log of a wood? So the correct answer for this question is orangutan. Orangutan is a variety chimpanzee. This is also a mammalian species, and this is also a mammalian species, and this is also uh, you know uh, so when it comes to the evolution of human beings, so orangutan also is placed below human beings. So therefore, it has the ability to make such a stick and scrape in, and to scrape insects from the hole of a tree or log of an wood. Okay, so looks similar to a chimpanzee or gorilla. Okay, so orangutan is the correct answer for this question. So consider the following statements in the making of how many of the above hydrofluorocarbons used. Okay, so this statement, the correct answer for this question is option C, only 3: aerosols, foam agents, and fire retardants. These hydrofluorocarbons have been extensively used. Okay, so however, when it comes to making lubricants, there is no substantial evidence to prove that hydrofluorocarbons can also be used in making lubricants. Okay, so however, it is a bit doubtful, because the correct answer may be either C or D. Okay, so but I would go with option C, because there is no substantial evidence that hydrofluorocarbons can also be used in making lubricants. So again, the statement based questions, interest income from the infrastructure investment trust distributed to their investors is exempted from tax. Okay. However, the dividend is taxable. It says the dividend is taxable. See, this statement is incorrect because when some investors are investing in a particular trust, so they earn dividend. Okay, they earn dividend, and they also earn interest rate on their investments. Okay, so therefore, it is highly likely that the government will, uh, impose interest rate on, impose taxes on both interest rate and dividend as well. Okay, so in order to raise money, the government may impose taxes, and in this case the infrastructure investment trust, both dividends and also interest is taxed. So therefore the question, the statement 1 is incorrect. Now in all the options, only option D says that statement 1 is incorrect. Remaining all the options says that statement 1 is correct. So you can arrive at the correct answer by this way, because the second statement says that the infrastructure investment trusts are recognized as borrowers under the securitization and reconstruction of financial assets and enforcement of security interest act. Okay, so this is also correct. This statement is in fact correct because they are recognized under the securitization and reconstruction of financial assets and enforcement of security interest act 2002, right? So the correct answer for this question is option D. Now the next statement, the next question is question number 22. So in the post-pandemic recent past, many central banks worldwide had carried out interest rate hikes. So this is very obvious that central banks across the world have, increased interest rates in order to contain inflation, because there is an increasing inflationary trend across the globe, particularly after the pandemic and even because of the Russia-Ukraine war. So therefore, the central banks generally assume that they have the ability to counteract the rising consumer prices via the monetary policy means. Okay, so these central banks conduct monetary policy. Okay, not fiscal policy; they conduct monetary policy. So through the monetary policy measures, they can control inflation. Okay, they can control inflation, and they in fact believe that these monetary measures would help control inflation. So therefore, this statement rightly supports statement 1. After the post-pandemic recent past, central banks worldwide carried out interest rate hikes. So when interest rates are increased, that discourages investors, or that discourages borrowers to borrow money from either the central bank or from any other bank. Okay, that makes loans more and more dear. So therefore, the statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 best explains the statement 1. Okay, correct answer is option A. So the next statement, the next question is, carbon markets are likely to be one of the most widespread tools in the fight against climate change. This statement is absolutely correct. So because the carbon markets, we very often hear about the term carbon markets, where they trade carbon. Okay, they sell carbon certificates, and this is also one of the an important tool in fight against climate change. Statement 2, carbon market transfer resources from private sector to the state. See, this statement is also correct. Okay, this statement is also correct because carbon markets, so they actually transfer the whole resources, uh, you know earlier controlled by the private sector to the state. However, the statement 2 is not the correct explanation for statement 1. Okay, so they are independently or individually correct. Statement 1 and statement 2 are individually correct, but statement 2 is not the correct explanation for statement 1. Okay, Now the next question is, which one of the following activities of the Reserve Bank of India is considered as part of sterilization? Okay. So the correct answer for this question is option A, conducting open market operations. Now what is the sterilization? Sterilization is actually an action taken by central bank. In our case it is the Reserve Bank of India. So this this action primarily aimed at counterbalance the effects of foreign exchange interventions on domestic money supply and inflation. Okay, so because of frequent inflows and outflows of the foreign exchange reserves, it will have an impact on our currency, and that also fuel inflationary risks or inflationary tendencies. So therefore, Reserve Bank of India, in order to minimize such, reduce such an influence on our forex reserve, our currency, and also inflation, it conduct open market operations. So what open market operations mean? uh, RBI generally buy and sell the government bonds. Okay, RBI buy and sell government bonds during the open market operations. So statement 1 is clearly incorrect. Now consider the following statements. Consider the following markets. So first is government bond market, call money market, treasury bill market, and stock market. How many of the above included in the capital markets? Okay, so please understand here, the government bond market is considered as capital market. Okay, so because in order to raise capital necessary for welfare spending, government issues various bonds. Okay, so RBI issues bonds on behalf of the government. Okay, so therefore this statement is correct. However, the call money market is incorrect. Call money market is part of the money market, right? So this is usually with respect to direct borrowing or lending activity. So therefore this statement or this will not be part of the capital market. And treasury bills are also not part of the capital market, because treasury bills are issued for a short period of time, either for 91 days, 182 days, and also 365 or 4 days, right? So therefore this is also a form of a money market, so not to raise capital for long term purposes. So therefore this statement is also clearly incorrect, right? So and stock market, this raises capital in different companies. So therefore the correct answer is only 2. Next question is, which of the following best describes the concept of small farmer and large field? Among all the options, the best suitable option is, many marginal farmers in an area organize themselves into groups and synchronize and harmonize selected agricultural operations. So this statement is correct. So farmers collectively come together. They are mostly small and marginal farmers, and they come together, and uh, after they coming together, their land will be pooled, and they will cultivate crops. So in this way their bargaining power will also increase. Okay, so in this way their bargaining power will also increase. So therefore this best suits the concept of small farmers. They are mostly small and marginal farmers, and they together have or they together possess a large field. So the next question is, Government of India provides minimum support price for Niger seeds. Okay, so Niger seeds is one form of an oil seed, and in fact the Government of India provides minimum support prices for 23 crops, and Niger seed is one among them, right? So Niger seed is cultivated as a Kharif crop. In India, we have three seasons. One is Kharif, second is Rabi, and third is Jaid season. Okay, so these two seasons are widely recognized. Therefore, Niger is a Kharif crop, and some tribal people in India use Niger seed for cooking. Okay, neither seed oil for cooking. So therefore the correct answer for this question is all three, 1, 2 and 3. And 28, consider the following investment types as, consider the investments in the following assets. So it says how many of the above considered as intangible investments. So there is a two types of investments. One is intangible investments and tangible investments, right? So when it comes to tangible investments, investments are being made in tangible items. Tangible items are some items which, for example, machinery. Okay, machinery is a tangible item. So apart from machinery, inventory is also a tangible item. On the other hand, brand building, intellectual property, mailing list of clients are not tangible assets. Okay, so they are tangible assets, and investments made on these three aspects are called as intangible investments. So the correct answer for this question is option C, right? So consider the following statement. This is with respect to the 15th Finance Commission devolution of finances to states, and this is with respect to the horizontal devolution, and devolution not from the center to states but from different states. Okay, this is horizontal devolution, and there is a certain criteria based on which the horizontal devolution takes place, right? So as per the 15th Finance Commission, the horizontal devolution takes place between states based on population is one criteria, and area, forest, income distance, tax and fiscal performance, and also the demographic performance, right? So these are the demographic performance, forest and ecology, tax and fiscal incentives are three areas apart from area, income distance. So therefore the correct answer for this question is option B, 3 only. Consider the following infrastructure sectors: affordable housing, mass rapid transport, healthcare, and renewable energy. So therefore, the United Nations, the United Nations OPS, Sustainable Investments in Infrastructure and Infrastructure and Innovation. This is also called as S3I. This is also known as S3I initiative, and this initiative was launched in the year 2015. Okay, this initiative was launched in the year 2015, and this initiative particularly focuses on affordable housing and also renewable energy, health, and infrastructure, but it does not cover the mass rapid transportation. So therefore only three statements are correct in this question. And 31, the essence of what does due process of law mean. Now we have two doctrines. One is due process of law, and second is the procedure established by law. Okay, so the procedure established by law is duly recognized by Indian Constitution. Okay, on the other hand, the due process of law has evolved over a period of time through judicial interpretations, particularly in the year 1978 Menaka Gandhi versus Union of India case. Menaka Gandhi versus Union of India case, the Supreme Court has also come up with a due process of law. Okay, so the due process of law means fair application of law. So the correct answer for this question is option C. Now 32nd question. In India, prisons are managed by state governments with their own rules and regulations for the day-to-day administration of prisons. So this is absolutely true, because prisons are state subject. So therefore prisons, the day-to-day administration which actually takes place in prisons is managed by the state governments itself. And second statement says in India, prisons are governed by the Prisons Act 1894, and this expressively kept the subject of prisons in the control of provincial governments. So provincial governments are equated with the present day state governments. So this statement is also correct, and this statement also supports statement 1. So the correct answer for this question is option Ye. Next question is, which of the following statement best reflects the chief purpose of the constitution of a country? So every country have a constitution, either written constitution or unwritten constitution. When it comes to India, we have a lengthiest written constitution. Lengthiest written constitution. Now the chief objective or the chief purpose of such a constitution is it defines and limits powers of the government. So it primarily limits the arbitrary powers of the government. So the correct answer for this question is option C, right? So 34. In India, which of the following constitutional amendments was widely believed to be enacted to overcome the judicial interpretation of the fundamental rights, right? Okay. Now the first Constitutional Amendment Act was passed under the leadership of Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, 42nd under Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, 44th under Prime Minister Morarji Desai, and 86th Constitutional Amendment Act was passed subsequently in the year 2002. However, the correct answer for this question is option D, that is 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, and this amendment act was also passed in the backdrop of emergency in the year 1975. Okay, so therefore the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act is widely believed to be enacted to overcome the judicial interpretation of the fundamental rights. Now 35, consider the following organization or bodies in India. So this is easy question. So if you regularly following the current affairs along with reading some static books, you can easily attempt this question. So the National Commission for Backward Classes has given the constitutional status. Okay, this was established in the year 1993. However, through the 102nd Constitutional Amendment Act, National Commission for Backward Classes have given the constitutional status. Okay, so therefore, this is also part of the 338B of the Indian Constitution. So this statement is correct because it is a constitutional body. On the other hand, the National Human Rights Commission is a statutory body. Law Commission is not a statutory body, neither a statutory body nor a constitutional body. And the National Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission is a statutory body. So only one is correct. So the next question is, if the elections of the President of India is declared void by Supreme Court of India, all acts done by him or her in the performance of duties of his or her office, President before date, this is incorrect, because even if the election is declared void by the Supreme Court of India, the acts done by him before he was in office, they will not be declared invalid. So this statement is clearly incorrect. Now, the second statement is, election for the post of the President of India can be postponed on the ground that some legislative assemblies have been dissolved and elections are yet to take place. This statement is also clearly incorrect. So this is a basic, understanding. Um, I mean, we have a federal form of government. So therefore, in every state, it usually takes place that maybe one state, the legislature was dissolved, and the other state, the elections were taking place, and that will delay the election to the president. So therefore, this is not a valid statement. So statement 3 says, when a bill is presented to the President of India, the Constitution prescribes time limits within which he or she declare his or her assent. No, there is no such time limit which on the part of the president. Okay, so either he can withhold his assent. There were different vetoes: suspensive veto, pocket veto, absolute veto. Okay, so there is no such timeline prescribed by the Indian Constitution. So the correct answer for this question is option D. Now 37, with reference to finance bill, money bill in the Indian Parliament, consider the following statements. Okay, so 37th question, this is: when a Lok Sabha transmits finance a bill to the Rajya Sabha, it can amend or reject the finance bill. So the finance bill is also classified as a money bill under Article 110 of the Indian Constitution. Okay, under Article 110 of the Indian Constitution. So whereas a financial bill is an ordinary bill, as it, apart from dealing with money matters, also deals with non-money matters. Okay, it not just deal with the money matters, but it also deals with the non-money matters. So therefore, the finance the it deals with the proposals of the government for levy of new taxes, modifications of the existing tax structures, or continuance of existing tax structure beyond a period approved by Parliament. Right? So it is introduced as a part of the annual financial statement under article. Annual financial statement is mentioned in under Article 112 of the Indian Constitution. The finance bill is accompanied by memorandum containing explanations of the provisions including. So Rajya Sabha can only recommend amendments to the bill. The bill has to be passed by the Parliament within 75 days of its introduction. So therefore, the statement 1 is incorrect and statement 2 is correct. So apart from that, statement 3 is also incorrect. So when Rajya Sabha can only suggest amendments to a particular bill, then there is no need for holding a joint session even in the case of a financial bill. So therefore the correct answer is option A, 1 only. So, second state, 38th question. Once a central government notifies an area as a community reserve, which of the following will takes place? Right? See, the first statement is clearly incorrect. Right? So, the first statement is incorrect. It is the chief wildlife warden of the state becomes the governing authority of such forest is incorrect. However, on the other hand, so sorry, this statement is correct. The chief of wildlife warden of the state becomes the governing authority of the forest. Okay, so he becomes the governing authority of the forest. And the second statement says hunting is not allowed in such area. So this statement is also correct. In such a statement, hunting is generally not permitted. And third statement is also correct. People of such area are allowed to collect the non-timber forest produce. So the minor forest produce they can collect without actually cutting down of trees. And fourth statement, people of such area are allowed traditional agricultural practices. This is incorrect. Okay, this statement is clearly incorrect. So even if it is traditional agricultural practice, that would certainly endanger the community reserves overall ecosystem. So therefore this statement is incorrect and the correct answer for this question is option C. And the next question is, with reference to scheduled areas in India, consider the following statements. So within a state, a notification of an area as a scheduled area takes place through the order of the president. This is clearly incorrect because the president have the power to declare a particular area as a scheduled area even in a state. Okay, so this statement is clearly correct. And the second statement says that the largest administrative unit forming the scheduled area is district, and the lowest area is cluster of villages in the block. So this statement is also clearly correct. Now the third statement says that the chief minister of the concerned states are required to submit annual reports to the Union Home Ministry on the administration of scheduled areas in the states. However, this is not the chief minister of a state, but it is rather the responsibility of the governor, concerned governor. Okay, so therefore this statement is clearly incorrect. All the statements are not correct. Two statements are correct. The correct answer is option B, 2 only. Now, the next question. The Supreme Court of India has held some judgments that the reservation policies made under section Article 116(4) of the Constitution of India would be limited by Article 335 for the maintenance of efficiency of the administration. Okay, so for example, the government has come up with a reservation in promotion for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes. So that would certainly impact the efficiency of the administration, right? So under Article 335 of the Indian Constitution, uh, the Supreme Court can limit the reservations being provided by the state under Article 16.4 on the pretext of maintenance of efficiency in the administration. So this statement is clearly correct. So Article 335 of the Constitution of India defines the term efficiency of administration. Okay, so it clearly defines the term efficiency of the administration. See, constitution rarely defines a term. Either a statutory law defines a term, or Supreme Court pronounces judgment on a particular aspect. But constitution never directly, clearly defines a term. So this statement is clearly incorrect. So there is only one option which says that statement 2 is incorrect, statement 1 is correct. Okay. So 41, question number 40. Which one of the following region was a Danya Kataka? Okay, Danya Kataka, which flourished in prominent Buddhist center under Mahasangikas. And this center is located in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so this is also known as Danya Kataka, and this is an important town and Deccan of the capital of later Shatavahanas. Shatavahanas are generally from Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh region, and for later Shatavahanas, Danyakataka was the capital. Okay, so it was also mentioned in several inscriptions. In fact, the large Buddhist settlements were located around the Danyakataka. Okay, Danyakataka is from Andhra Pradesh. So 42nd, with reference to ancient India, consider the following statement. The concept of stupa is a Buddhist origin. Okay, so this statement is incorrect. The concept of the concept of stupa is not a Buddhist origin, right? So, and secondly, the second statement says that stupa is generally a repository of relics. Yes, this statement is correct. It is a repository of relics. And the third statement says that stupa was a votive and commemorative structure of Buddhist tradition. The statement is also correct. So the correct answer for this question is option B. Now there are several ports in southern India. All these are ports. Korakai, Pumpuhar, Muchiri. So all of these are port cities. And the 43 option B. 44. Which one of the following explains the practice of Vatta Kirutal? Okay, this is actually a Tamil name. This is actually a Tamil name. Vatta Kirutal. And signifies a king defeated in a battle committing ritual suicide by starving himself to death, right? So he starves himself to death doing fasting after his defeat, and this practice is known as Vattakirutal in that was also mentioned during the Sangam text or Sangam age. So the 45th question is, how many of the above dynasties are established their kingdoms in early 8th century AD? Okay, early 8th century AD, that means around 1700 AD. So in fact, if you look at the timelines of all these kingdoms, none of them have established their kingdoms before 8th century AD. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is option D, none. Okay, option D, none. So Hoysalas were started around the 11th century BC, and Gahadavalas were started around the 9th century. Sorry, 11th century BC. They are also from the 11th century BC, and when it comes to Kakatiyas, they have started their rule around 950 AD, that is 10th century AD, and Yadavas were in the 12th century AD. Okay, so you can understand the timeline. So there were no kingdom from the 7th century AD. So the 46th constitutional amendment, the 46th question is literary work and the author of the literary work. Now Vishakadatta wrote Mudrakshasam, and Vishakadatta also wrote the Devi Chandraguptam. So therefore this statement is clearly incorrect. Okay, right. So the Milinda Panho is not written by Nagarjuna, but it is written by Nagasena. So already two statements are incorrect. So this is, sorry, this is incorrect, this is incorrect, and this is. So, and apart from that, the Hammira Mahakavya is written by Navya Chandra Suri. This is absolutely correct, it is written by the Navya Chandra Suri. And Niti Vakya Mitra, this is also written by Somadeva Suri. So the correct answer for this question is option B. So the main idea or the main philosophy of Jainism is every aspect having a soul, whether it is plant, rock, water, either everything, either living or non-living thing, but they compulsorily have a soul. So therefore, according to this above given description, the correct answer for this question is option B, that is Jainism. Right. So who among the following rulers of Vijayanagara Empire constructed a large dam across Tungabhadra River? Now Tungabhadra River is located in the state of Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. Okay, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. Now, this Tungabhadra river is a tributary of Krishna river. Is a tributary of Krishna river. So, if you read about this Vijayanagara kingdom, so Vijayanagara kingdom was established on two rivers between Krishna river and Tungabhadra river. So, therefore, option A, Devaraya 1 is the correct answer. He built a canal come aqueduct several kilometers long from the river to the capital city. Right. So, the 49th question is who among the following rulers of medieval Gujarat surrendered Diu? So Daman and Diu are located in Gujarat. Okay, so they are union territories. Once they were under the Portuguese control. Now Bahadur Shah actually transferred. Bahadur Shah transferred the surrendered Diu to the Portuguese rulers. And these all regulating act, Fits India Act, Charter Act, and Charter Act 1833 are very, very important. Every year, UPSC gives a question. So the Governor General of Bengal was Warren Hastings. The first Governor General of Bengal was Warren Hastings. So by the Charter Act 1833, okay, Charter Act 1833 says that or changed the Governor General of Bengal to Governor General of India. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is option D, Charter Act of 1833. So we have discussed up to 50 questions, and in next session we will discuss the remaining all questions. Okay.